Well, hello and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Vishvapani Blomfield. Thank you for joining me for this session in my series Beyond Breathing. And today in the practice, we're going to be moved towards a calmer and more peaceful state. And that's something that we can be in touch with, however busy things may be. So we really value hearing from you, and you can use the chat to get involved. Please share an experience, sometime that you were really being deeply calm and at peace. We'd love to just hear from you. It could be in the bath, it could be in a spa, it could be around a campfire, it could be in nature, it could be something very profound, very significant for you. Or it could be just something that happens, maybe a meditation experience. So, these things happen often when we're in that special place, but they can also happen in meditation. And one of the things that I've learned through practicing meditation for many years now is that there are certain ways that I can access a sense of calm in meditation. Okay? And these are things that we can all learn. So I start by settling my body. And I'm quite aware that the transition I'm making is from the realm of thinking and all of those things that my mind gets involved in to something else which starts with the physical senses. It's not just that, it's more intuitive than that. It's about how I'm feeling, and it's really intuiting that. It's not necessarily putting it into words, noticing the kind of thoughts that are around, the emotional tone, how my energy is. So to start off with, that can be quite open, it can be quite broad. It's really important not to judge yourself and think, I'm frazzled today, how can I possibly hold my head up as a meditation teacher or something like that. That just doesn't help. Recognizing how I am and then using the breath, using those techniques to access a sense of calm, that's what helps. And because I've been meditating for quite a long time, I've built up a feeling of what all that means. And that's something I can contact. So I'm bringing myself into contact with what's happening. So all meditation's about accessing calm in that way. It's not all that there is to it, but it's the basis. And accessing calm is a capacity of the body and the mind. It's something we can do. We're built to do it. So we're accessing these states. We aren't creating them out of nothing. We're letting go of tensions, right? So my shoulders are up like that. I can let tension go. And that's different from somehow having to construct calm. I'm not making calm happen. And because this process is about tuning into ourselves and what feels natural, there's an element of faith in it that actually this is possible. It's not just a matter of technique. And it's also not about being fixed on getting certain results, because that brings tension. Okay? That's one of the paradoxes. Now, that's the process. I follow my breath, I follow my body, I access a sense of calm. Of course, it's not quite that simple. Because of everything else that's going on in my experience, there might be all sorts of thoughts that don't want to. There may be various ways in which I'm not interested in everything that I've been talking about. So the art of meditation is bringing these two things together. So on the one hand, we have our natural capacity to access states of calm. And on the other, we have the busyness of the mind. And so the practice is bringing them together and working skillfully with these two things. And we just keep coming back to our experience in that way. Goes off, becomes really complicated, thinking about this, thinking about that. I just gather my awareness together, and that's the practice. And what that practice feels like is always different. It's not a matter of a technique. It always feels different. Okay, so let's get into the practice, and we're going to be focusing on calm today. How can we access this sense of calm? And let's take our time. Let's take our time to make a transition. I've been talking, so that's part of the transition. Take a deep breath. Just roll the shoulders. Maybe roll your neck. Stretch, extend. Just settling back now. Settling into a stable posture. Feeling we're supported, we're balanced. Supported by the ground, the floor, the earth beneath the floor. And we rise up. Our posture rises, opens, extends. Breathing. Breathing and settling. Maybe just notice all these things we're doing. Closing the eyes, settling the body, finding a helpful posture, focusing on the breath. All of these things are naturally inclined to encourage or access a sense of calm and just having some faith that there's something waiting for us on the other side of these little actions, these techniques, this process. It's as if there's a well inside us and we lower the bucket and nothing happens. Nothing happens. We keep lowering the bucket and then the bucket reaches the water. There's a spring at the bottom of the well. And we raise the bucket back up, and it's full of this beautiful, delicious spring water. We had no idea it was there, except that there was a well. The well is the process. The well is the technique. So drawing on that well. The breath, maybe the breath is that bucket. Let's use the breath, particularly the out breath. If we want to access calm, we can use the fact that we breathe out repeatedly, again and again, and every time we do so, the muscles release, they soften. Another deeper breath maybe. Letting go. Just letting the body settle back, settle down. Feeling how the body moves as we breathe. And particularly taking our attention low in the body, into the core of the body, the belly, the tummy, and all of the sensations at the core of the body. And feeling, sensing. Now, the mind tends to drift. Thoughts are coming into our mind all the time, and naturally we drift along with them. So, in order to stay with the breath, we can do something like count. So we breathe in, we breathe out, we count 1. We breathe in, we breathe out, we count 2. So just use this in a way that supports the practice, just helping you stay. You can go up to whatever number you want to. It could just be 3 or 4, it could be more than that. And the breath may feel, counting the breath may feel like an imposition, something we don't want. So don't do it if you don't want to. So staying present, staying with the breath. Every time thoughts come, gently guiding our awareness back to the breath. If we've been using a count, then starting again at 1 every time the mind drifts. And taking our attention right into the belly, tummy, the stomach, feeling the movement of the abdomen. That's the muscles all around on the outside. Abdomen rising and settling, extending, softening. allowing space in our experience to settle, noticing anywhere that feels tense or tight in the body, particularly in the tummy, any areas of intensity or compression, letting the breath flow into those areas, flowing deeply into the muscles, into any sense of tightness. Imagining the breath flowing in, and as it flows and as we breathe out, just releasing, easing as we breathe, letting go. Maybe using a word like opening. Opening. So opening to any sense of tension, any energy. Opening. Any sense of peace. Just following the breath. If you have been counting, then you could drop the counting. And looking for things in the experience of breathing that are enjoyable, that are soothing. For example, the rhythm of the breath, the sense of flow, of ease. Breathing, settling, resting. Returning to the image of the well. That bucket leads down to a deep lake. Beneath the surface, a sunless sea. Its surface completely still. Its water cool and deep. resting deeply. Settling. Breathing. Peace. Deep peace. A reservoir of peace within the body, within the mind. And of course, whatever's happening on another level of our thoughts. Our drifting, our engagement with all sorts of things. So recognizing that and connecting with this deeper level of our experience. Now, starting to make a transition. If we've gone deep, maybe a journey back to the surface, feeling the body. Just feeling the weight of the body on the cushion, moving a little, bringing in movement, sensing the light in the room. When we're ready, no rushing, no hurrying, we can open our eyes. And still just taking a little time to absorb the practice. It's a good habit to get into, not timing your meditation to the moment when you've got to rush off. Allow some space before and afterwards. Okay. So let's go to some questions. Today felt like a tug of war. As my mind quieted, thoughts rushed in. Deadline in 2 hours, bills, shopping. Took more time than usual to calm down and let go, but I got there. I guess there's no way to find instant calm. Just trust that peace comes with practice. Is that right? Well, yes, thank you so much for sharing your experience. I think that is right. So you said that, well, you've got a deadline in 2 hours. Of course that's going to be in your mind. Notice how that affects your physiology, how the strength of the pull back to that. And all the things, bills, shopping, yes. Actually, everyone has these things. So it's always different, isn't it? Our minds are in a different state. And it's easy to think, oh, well, yesterday I was doing better, and yesterday I was really calm. Now what's happened? It's just like the weather. But what I'm hearing you saying is that actually within that process, there was something you were able to access, and that you can trust in that. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Another dimension of all of this is bringing what we're learning in meditation to our activities. And, it's so much easier said than done. That, we just are calm, whatever happens, and we glide through life and everything's wonderful because we're in touch with this deep well of calm. Well, maybe. What we can bring is awareness. We actually need a bit of mental space to be able to bring awareness to our daily activities. Awareness or mindfulness. And that's the practice. It's not about results. It's not about being determined to get somewhere, or, if I lose my temper with my child, then I'm a failure. Who's going to be a success on those conditions? It's about how we incline our minds. There's also something about our attitude. Contentment, which really means believing that what we have internally is enough to make us happy, whatever problems we might have. So maybe I've got to pay the rent. Maybe I've got all sorts of problems in my work. But I can still cultivate a sense of something inside me that's going to feel okay. Now, again, that's easier said than done. And this is a lifetime's work, really, negotiating all of this. So I have a poem, another beautiful poem today. This poem is by an American poet called William Stafford. And just savor these words, they are very moving. Starting here, what do you want to remember? How sunlight creeps along a shining floor? What scent of old wood hovers? What softened sound from outside fills the air? Will you ever bring a better gift for the world than the breathing respect that you carry wherever you go right now? Are you waiting for time to show you some better thoughts? When you turn around, starting here, lift this new glimpse that you found. Carry into evening all that you want from this day. This interval you spent reading or hearing this, keep it for life. What can anyone give you greater than now? Starting here, right in this room, when you turn around. Thank you so much for sharing this time. Please continue to explore your meditation practice with us. You can check out our daily live meditations at round.glass or on our app. Have a great day and stay in touch with your calm core.